Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dana. I upload a new video at least once a week, but whenever I can, I like to add in an extra or two. So now is a great time to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, to stay on top of all of my new videos. Because after all, it's the best season for tea. It's fall, and a lot of my content is tea related. So I had kind of this weird idea, and today is the day I test it out. I recently uploaded a video where I tried for the first time to make cheese tea, which is a tea that became popular in Asia. It's like an iced tea topped with like a salted cheese foam topping. It's like cream cheese all whipped up and delicious. So I tried making it for the first time, and there were a couple things I'd do differently, but the reason I really wanted to do that was because I had thought of this and wanted to try just the normal way first, so then I can like riff off of it into my own thing. So I was really inspired by the YouTube channel Honeysuckle. The lady from Honeysuckle did this video where she made all different boba teas. When she made cheese foam for one of the teas, she made it like a sweeter way. So it was more like a cheesecake type topping, whereas most of the time it's like a salted foam, like it's a little more savory, but she took it in the direction of sweet and said that it tasted like cheesecake. So I came up with the idea for what I am picturing to be the perfect fall drink. I'm going to attempt today to make a pumpkin cheesecake boba tea. So the first thing I did, of course, was make our boba, and now I'm gonna mix it with the brown sugar. So I use this one, it's like a black tapioca pearl one from Amazon, and I'll link that below for you guys. And after you cook it, you need to mix it either with sugar or with honey, whatever you want really. So since I'm doing like a fall themed drink, I've decided brown sugar. So I'm just gonna mix in this little spoonful of brown sugar right in. And it should get kind of syrupy because they're a little warm still, and it should melt right in. Perfect, look at that. All right, so these are prepared and ready to go. Next, I'm gonna get my tea steeping. I went back and forth a lot about this. I was going to use like a plain chai or a plain black tea because the pumpkin is really gonna be in the topping. But when it came down to it, I decided I'm just gonna use David's Tea's pumpkin chai because I love it. It has little pumpkin shaped sprinkles in it. It's not so much like a traditional chai. It has caramel bits and cinnamon, so it's a little bit different. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put 2 scoops of that into my David's Tea steeper. And I'm just making this how you would make any normal iced tea, nothing unusual there. So I put double the amount that I would put for a hot tea. But if you're using tea bags and you wanted to follow along and try to make this with me, then you could just use 2 tea bags, or if you don't have a steeper, you could just use your infuser. If you have maybe one of the metal basket infusers that I sell, that would be perfect. And I'm just gonna fill it like a little bit lower than the logo, I think, because I want a nice concentrated shot of tea, and a lot of stuff's going in the cup, so I don't want too much liquid. So let's just set this guy to the side. And now we'll prep our cheese foam. Last time, like I said, was my first time ever making cheese foam, and I followed a recipe from the YouTube channel Honeysuckle. But for this, I looked at some recipes for non-bake pumpkin cheesecakes because this is going to be like a pumpkin themed one. But I have my cream cheese already measured out, about I have an ounce here. I want to use brown sugar today because I want that like caramelized flavor, and I'm just eyeballing everything here. I want to do more like a teaspoon, so not too much. I'm gonna do right like that. I just really like the brown sugar flavor. I tried a cheese tea at like a tea cafe, and it had like this really, like, it was an oolong, but it had this like brown sugary flavor to it, and I've just been basically chasing that high ever since. So I have just a little bit of brown sugar in my bowl, and I'm gonna put the spices next. I have vanilla, which is not a spice, but the vanilla I have is powdered like a spice would be, and I'm gonna do a couple shakes of that. Now, pumpkin pie spice. I think Trader Joe's has the most cost-effective spices. And I'm gonna do probably about a teaspoon of this, but I'm just gonna shake it in there. Yeah, I don't want it too sweet, but I do want it a little sweet. So maybe, I guess if I want more sugar, I could always whip it in later on. So here are our dry ingredients in the bowl. So we have our cream cheese, the most important part, the part that makes it a cheese tea. And I tried to let it soften up a little bit beforehand this time, because last time I just took it like right out of the fridge and then went to make my cheese topping. It didn't like melt super nicely, like there were, or it did, but there were like some chunks, and I don't want that. I have whipping cream. This is from Trader Joe's as well. And last time I eyeballed it, I'm gonna eyeball it again. I think her recipe called for a 1/4 cup, but I eyeballed it last time and I'm gonna do that again. So this should be about good, I think. I'm just gonna give it like a little stir before I start whipping it. Maybe I'll do a little more. And I almost forgot the most important part, the pumpkin puree. I made pumpkin soup, or it was like squash soup, but it called for pumpkin puree as well. So I'm gonna just use this. It came from a can. And I don't want too much because I don't want to mess with the texture, but I do want an orange color in this. So I'm just gonna do probably about a teaspoon. Okay. So right now this looks terrible, but once we whip it, I bet it'll be really good. So here's what we got. And I have my hand mixer, and I have this oat milk on hand because if it gets too like stiff, I'm gonna add some milk to thin it out. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and whip it. I'm gonna point you guys down so you can like see me whip it though. So this is super similar to the other video I made about just the regular cheese tea. So I hope this isn't boring, but I really, really wanted to do a pumpkin spice one. So here we are. Ready? All right, so here's what we've got. Still looks like I have some chunks of cream cheese in it though. I don't really like that. Let me see if I can just stir it up. So I think I want to add actually more of the pumpkin pie spice. Just because it's not like as spiced as I imagined, you know? Like it just doesn't have the right amount yet. Gonna whip it just a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit of milk too. Just a teeny bit. Beautiful. All right, so this is just about what I was looking for. Look at that. All right, so this is actually the perfect consistency. I also was kind of thinking of the Starbucks pumpkin cream cold foam. That's kind of different though, because obviously like there's no cream cheese, nothing like that. So this is a little different and hopefully a little less unhealthy. But I was thinking you could totally put this on top of coffee or really anything you want. Just a cup of milk like Dalgona coffee style, or hot chocolate, or chai, a chai latte. But I want to do boba. So we start with the glass. And first we're gonna put in the boba pearls. I think I'm just gonna go all out and load it up. Last time I was a little shy about the amount of pearls I put in, but this time I am feeling it. Especially because my husband is home and I know if I don't finish it, he for sure will. and I definitely want to let him try it. So here's our pearls. Next, we want to add the ice. I think I made this ice because it is really badly made. When my husband makes it, it turns out really good, but when I make it, it's like weird half pieces of ice. So we'll just make do with those, I guess. I cannot wait until we live somewhere that has an ice machine where ice just magically comes out of your refrigerator when you press the button. You can have ice water whenever you want, iced tea whenever you want. That's something I'm really looking forward to when we have our next place, which will hopefully be a house and will hopefully be in Florida. So because of my terrible ice making skills, this is all the ice I have, but that's okay. So now I'm gonna take our tea and just steep it right over the ice. Last time I did wish that I sweetened the tea. This time I'm not going to though, because this tea does have like pumpkin sprinkles and caramel bits. So I think this one should be good. Plus we're going for a sweeter drink anyway this time. Just steep it right over. You know what? I am gonna go grab more ice. And then another option you could do when you get to this step is you could put milk in it if you want, but I like the contrast of just the plain iced tea without the milk, and then that like cheesecake like foam on top. I like the visual aesthetic of it sort of like melting into it. And also I just like the taste without too much milk, but if you wanted to, you totally could. Also, this recipe is totally experimental. I don't know what I'm doing at all. So I'm hoping it'll turn out good, but if it doesn't and you end up with something weird, I'm really sorry. Okay, so we have our boba, our ice, and our tea. And now comes the special part, the pumpkin cheesecake cheese foam. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plop it right on top. A hefty amount. I want to smooth it out and make it look pretty too. Because as they say, first you eat with your eyes. Or you eat first with your eyes. I don't know. Something like that, right? You eat with your eyes first. All right, doesn't look really that pretty, but let's taste the foam. Tastes like pumpkin cheesecake. Oh, I love it. So it's not as sweet as the Starbucks pumpkin cold foam, but again, I didn't add too much sugar because I didn't want it too sweet. Ooh, and then our last thing for a special touch. Here's how it looks so far. It looks gorgeous. But I have these Trader Joe's pumpkin spice pumpkin seeds that I thought would be really awesome to sprinkle on top as just like an extra little festive thing, you know? Add a little bit of texture. I feel like it would be really good if you had like brown sugar granules or like raw sugar or something to like sprinkle it on the top. Like when I worked at Starbucks, there was like that drink, the caramel brulee latte, like those sprinkles that go on top of that, like the crunchy sugar. So here is our final product. It's beautiful. And to enjoy boba, we need a big wide straw that will allow us to slurp up that boba. These are not reusable, unfortunately. I bought them a long time ago for my first boba video, and I plan to buy a reusable one next time so I can always enjoy boba sustainably. But I think first I want to just try slurping it, you know, to get the foam. So let's try it. This is good. Oh, this is really good. This exceeded my expectation. Oh my God, the pumpkin seed. Wow, this is really good. I was also thinking if you really wanted to up the like cheesecake vibe, you could crumble up some graham crackers or ginger snaps to put on top, but oh, I love these pumpkin spice pumpkin seeds on it. I'm not sure I would change anything if I had the opportunity. I guess I'd let the cream cheese thaw even more because I still am getting like some chunks of cream cheese that aren't like dissolving. But honestly, like I don't even care because it's so good. So let's try it like the whole way with the boba. It's really good. It's like perfect, honestly. I don't even think it needs the boba though, because it's so good like with the topping and the pumpkin seeds and the pumpkin chai that like I almost feel like the boba is just like not even necessary. It's almost like too much. So I think if I were gonna make this again, I'd probably make it without the boba. And it's still really thick, like the topping. I'm glad I did add some milk to it, but I kind of like that because then I can like mix it in with the tea a little, you know? But this really is good. I feel like it's like a good, like almost like a snack version of a pumpkin cheesecake. Because if you really wanted pumpkin cheesecake on a normal Thursday, like today that I'm filming this, I know you're seeing this on a Sunday probably, but what would you do? Like, would you go buy a whole cheesecake just for yourself? Like, I guess you could slice it and then freeze what you don't eat and then have it a different time, you know? I feel like this is the perfect like single serve option for if you are craving like pumpkin cheesecake but aren't really thinking you want to go buy a whole one or bake a whole one. The thing I would change is the straw because the boba keeps getting stuck in it. I need a bigger straw that doesn't like cave under pressure because this one, when like a pearl gets stuck, it like gets all weird. But here's how it looks now. A little more messy, but still delicious. And I'm glad I made it with the pumpkin chai. I thought it would be overkill, but it's actually just delicious. And I do think it would have been really awesome with just a regular chai or a chai latte as well. But for me, this is perfect. So my dream of making a pumpkin cheesecake boba cheese tea is officially fulfilled. It was as good as I imagined it. Could it have been like sweeter and more decadent? Definitely. Like if I really like upped that sugar, I could have done that for sure. But I'm glad I didn't. It was just so perfect. Honestly, like now that I've tried this, I'm like, what else can I make into cheese foam? Or even just like making it into whipped cream, like using heavy cream and like adding different like spices and things. Maybe like for the holidays, I can try like a peppermint one or a gingerbread one. The possibilities are honestly endless. But anyway, let me know if you guys end up making this. If you do and you take an Instagram photo, be sure to tag me. I have both my personal Instagram and my tea Instagram linked. So please tag me because I really want to see your creations and what you come up with. And I hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy, and I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.